Hello again, Glitch Reaper here, and a lot has happened since my last episode. I've done a lot of things. As you can kind of see, I've changed up armors. May not be quite as defensive overall, but has a very special ability. Because block armors has a lot of cool special things you can have, and this regrowth means that this armor will in fact regenerate itself over time. And I think this is regardless of whether or not it's in sunlight or not, even though it's very planty. And this is moss stone armor, and the recipe for it is pretty much how you'd think everything in the regular armor recipes, except it's made of moss stone. And I got that fairly easily because you may have noted, in fact it was noted before, that I was living close to a jungle. So I went over there, I collected a few jungle materials, including vines, some jungle sapling. I got some cocoa beans. I got some jungle wood. Sorry, no cat yet, but at some point that'll probably happen. I did that off screen because I needed to kind of preload the chunk because of famous jungle lag. However, in this version it's not nearly as bad as it has been in previous versions when it comes to getting into a jungle. So I'll probably go there on screen at some point, especially if I'm going after very particular creatures, etc. Because there are some others that are exclusive to the jungle, other than just cats. Because I do have Lycanized mobs and a few other interesting mods here that add things to the jungle. So, yeah, and in fact this armor's kind of camouflage. That would be kind of cool, actually, go in like this. As this armor levels up, I will probably have some abilities to help out with that. Some other things, you may notice these leaves. They're supposed to be throwable. I think they are able to do something kind of randomish if you throw them in the air, but I'm not sure if they deal damage when they hit a mob directly. I'll have to check that out. But they're just made with any kind of leaf, literally. So I just sheared off some extra leaves and got a few. That reminds me, I put my metallic shears up. I have wooden shears right now. I do have the more shears mod, as you can kind of see up here. I have lots of shears. Also, a few other mods add shears, like a shears of winter from Reliquary. Add in Pharos, obviously you add some shears because they're here, and they're the same as these. I don't know if they're any different. I'll have to check out. But I do have no more recipe conflicts to take care of that, should anything happen. Cyclic even has these cool long-range shears. Okay, that's an interesting upgrade. What, 32? How do you have a stack of? How do you have half a stack of shears? That can't be right. Are they one use each? What's going on here? I don't know how that's supposed to work. Now there's interesting shearing block. I was just looking up shears earlier and I got all these results. Botania has a few specialty shears. That should come in handy. But for now, the wooden shears should be fine. I haven't needed too much shearing, and as I was doing before, I had collected up some moss to have moss stone. I do have more of my tinker set up, including a nice tool forge. And again, the interface is kind of it goes along with the new version of a tool forge. And reminds me how much. By the way, shuriken now use knife blades rather than shuriken components of their own. So this is another change with Tinker Construct 2. And I found out what was up with my my multi-block recognition, where they can just go between each other, which is awesome. I needed to have an actual crafting station connecting to them in some way. See, does this go all the way to the tool forge? I don't think so. I think this only goes... Yeah, this only goes between those. It doesn't actually get the tool forge working. I don't actually have a smeltery set up yet, but I do have some of the components. I'm just kind of concerned that I don't have quite enough, although it is more freeform than it used to be, so I might be able to make a mini version, a really small version of a smeltery. Just a tiny one. And then I can upgrade it over time, of course. But you can actually have them where they're as small as a 1-block space in the middle, where it used to be it had to be a 3x3 and going up. So it's changed to be a bit more flexible in that regard, which is really cool. I like that change. I have some additional moss stone from my frenzy of harvesting. Well, actually, I put some vines nearby for them to grow, so I kind of have a vine farm. The thing is that I have tin left over for a very specific purpose. I have Cavern in my mod pack. That is the follow-up to K-World 2. It's just been renamed and rehashed. So yes, I can go to some other dimensions very soon if I want to. In fact, I have the ability to kind of do that right now, but I'd like to focus on a few other things first, actually. Part of it is apparently my food situation, because, yeah. Luckily, I have recently acquired, I've done a little, see, is my little farm over here? I think I put my little farm over here, because I've kind of created an underground farm. You may notice these crystals are in my way. That won't last for long. That won't last for long. And I have done a bit of tinkering, but I haven't done the obsidian yet, partially for this reason. I received an iron pickaxe from an infernal mob. It has Unbreaking 2 and Fortune 1. Not the way I'd want to really max out an iron pick, because, you know, obviously you can get better stats than that, but it'll serve its purpose for a while, because it gives me access to iron level stuff, and I'll still make an obsidian tool of some sort. I'm thinking possibly an obsidian hammer now that I have a tool forge. Oh, and just for extra food later, I'll go ahead and harvest some extra melons right about now, because that's always good. You can see how I use my area very efficiently down here, because I don't have much space. I'll have to replace these with some more dirt in a moment. I do mean in a moment because, as I said, I have this iron pick, and there's no sense not using it, especially when I do know ways of making them last forever. Now, a previous thing I had issue with is whenever that Geonock gave me some dark gems, it didn't give me any crushed dark gems, which are very important. But with this, because it has fortune, it heightens the chance of having crushed dark gems, which is very important in Evilcraft. I'm actually somewhat concerned of breaking it, because I'm next to my farm, and I could wind up having a Geonock right here. Be a little destructive, but I'll give it a try. Oh, whew. What I find really interesting is I get that achievement even though I already have dark gems, because apparently, unlike the diamonds achievement in regular Minecraft, it isn't based on harvesting the item by picking it up off the ground. It's based on actually harvesting the block. And I heard an explosion. I think I haven't had too many mysterious holes though, which is weird, because I just heard an explosion. What is that? Is that a phantom? I think that's a phantom. You can see I have actual strategy here as to why I wanted my house to be made out of these particular versions of slimes from Plain Slime. It's because even though it looks like dirt to everything else, it's translucent, so players can see right through it. I see you, mysterious glowing ball. You're not going to be around for much longer. By the way, if you create a broadsword in Tinker's Construct, it acts just like a vanilla sword. So, no right-click function, but at the same time, it has... yeah, I was right, it's a phantom. They're basically the nighttime version of a fairy. So they'll shoot Danmaku at you. I need to recharge. It's a good thing I'm over here and he can't see past me, because again, it's translucent, so I can visually see through it, and he can't. If that's even a... they're kind of like an elemental to a degree, but I'm not sure. They're kind of pure energy. They're more of a spirit creature. Ah, but if he elevates himself, he randomly flew. He saw me, but I'm already almost about healed up. And he can only oh, something else over there. I was gonna say he can only shoot with line of sight. Pardon me as I grab my... Oh. Too many of them. Oh boy. Okay, might be time to try using that UFOs thing, because it's supposed to be where they move kind of randomly. What I mean by UFOs is these supposed to split off into little UFO Danmaku. Come on. Can't hit her with these. They're kind of a little too random. Anything else around me? Oh, That answers my question. Or is that the same one? They have a longer aggro distance once they start. I've noticed that. Okay, the distance that they start splitting off into a UFO is actually very short. Ouch. Okay, you got me. Okay, I'm not healed up yet. I'm surrounded by fairies. I'm surrounded by fairies. Surrounded by very angry fairies. It does not seem like a good thing at all, and it definitely isn't. If you can hear them, they're too close. Definitely my tip there. Oh, missed one. Oh, same one, she just flew faster than I expected. It's a good thing I've got good speed. Or I would be so toast. Ooh, more string. I've had a few infernals leave stuff around. Apparently I missed that. My cleanup has been a little low on that one. Sorry. But it helps. It helps to get a lot of extra string. I was just going to take care of a phantom, and then I got myself surrounded. Things happen. Especially around here. This is why I have so much of this. I do have some nice cooked chupacabra. That might help. These, when it comes to the entity brains, the tiny ones have a little bit of hunger recovery, but like no saturation, and these have some hunger recovery, but are mostly saturation. So they're really good for helping you just keep yourself topped off. Also, the tiny entity brains, as opposed to the walnut ones, do nauseate you for a little while, so that can be a little problematic. Not too much. It's just for like a second or two, so it's more like just a quick little penalty for such an abundant food. And I do say abundant because in my pack I can use these too. However, you can't keep eating these like you used to. They're not as good as they used to be. In Natura, you used to be able to eat the berries like indefinitely after when your hunger bar was full, so their saturation would keep piling up again, and that's always a cool thing. But for some reason in this version, they're not doing that anymore. I'll need to recharge up this pool because I need my books. I was going to get extra books before that whole thing happened. Stuff happens often with apparently Danmaku laser shots. Also, I do have enough. I did get enough string over time, not just from gardening some cotton, that I got enough wool to make a bed. Now I do have cotton there, but it doesn't have that whole thing where you can right-click it to harvest it anymore, and I find that kind of a little bit annoying. Should probably shot some of these at them, but I think those have a spread that doesn't work as well, if I remember right. Whew. That was intense. But yeah, I can sleep it off quickly if I need to. And also, well, while I'm down here and waiting for other stuff, I can break these. Okay. Ooh. It's a very sparkly effect I got going there just for breaking the crystals. I was just clearing them out. Well, they're a little painful, but the main reason why I'm clearing them out is to actually collect them for later. Because with the Crystology mod, you need a lot of its crystals. I mean, it's named Crystology. It's all about crystals, you know? Also, I do actually need this andesite, because I have added another mod into my pack. And it's one I was waiting for a while. I had it kind of planned to be in here for a while, but... I mean, seriously, that is a very sparkly breaking animation. I appreciate that. But yeah, you actually need some of the polished specialty stones from vanilla Minecraft, including andesite, diorite, and granite to start it up. I thought that was kind of an interesting touch, because you kind of build a statue out of the polished versions. I am going to need to put something here, because this is kind of my little entryway. In case you're wondering how I'm hopping up so much, I have some special extra abilities that I've been stockpiling from Everlasting Abilities. Some of them are pretty cool, including a very high amount of step assist. I got some good speed, jump boost. Been kind of focusing more on the general stat-based setup. Oh, that reminds me, I need to pick a class at some point. You'll probably know which one I'm going to pick. Okay, there was something else I was going to do. Well, I can... Oh yeah, I was gonna block that off. I need some more cobblestone. I actually, for some odd reason, I was carrying some. What am I thinking? You should always be carrying a good stack of blocks around, just in case you need them. And for some odd reason, I totally forgot to do that. Okay, also, because cobblestone is kind of unnatural in the world, usually, oh, I should probably just, because this is just regular stone, I should probably finish it off with this. Because I don't really need this particular pickaxe right now, because I got better. I will have even better later. Because, now that I have my, like a good amount of obsidian, I should be fine. How I got it is very simple. While I was going around in my, I'm gonna need to replace these very carefully. While I was going around in my, kind of like my mine area, I, ran into a lot of shadow mobs from Lycanites, and a lot of them actually drop obsidian, so it's very, very convenient. I can actually repair this after a while. But before I do that, I'd like to kind of use it a bit. Oops, need to kind of relight up the area. I think I knocked a torch off. Yeah, I totally did. But I'm going to need a lot of this andesite. I don't remember how much I'm going to need. It's not too terribly much, but I need to make a statue with it. That's going to take a good amount. Okay. There, it'll be fine. Because I'm going to need... Ooh! Now that I'm actually able to break them, happy to find them. Very happy. Thank you. And it's currently mostly green, apparently, for some reason. I don't know why it's that kind of cluster around here, but it is. It's just one, and of course, when I'm doing this, I'm also expanding my base. Apparently into a cave made mostly of andesite. Well, that's kind of new. Haven't seen a deposit like this before. I've seen some big ones. I think, I think what happened is that this was a particularly enormous deposit of andesite and a cave ran through it. I think that's what happened here. Uh-oh, I don't want to disturb him, because I want to tame him later. I got one very conveniently around here. Also, I think I got enough andesite, so I don't think I need to worry about it too much. How much do I got? 56. I think that'll be more than enough. So, as I've got that, that's nice, so I can also get some other crystals out of my way. That'll be good to do. Also, I think that'll cause the water to fill in itself. At least it should. Excellent. Because this is not just my little farm down here, this is also going to be my underground fishing pond. So that I won't be disturbed by anything while I'm fishing. I do have quark, so fishing in the ocean will be interesting. So it's nice to have a quiet place to fish, too. And that'll definitely be useful. Do I have dirt? I don't have dirt directly on me right now, so I need to go grab some. That would have been a good idea. But I'm just clearing out a few things from my local area. But yeah, the reason why I haven't killed that shade really close to me is I want to tame him eventually. And for that I'm going to need a few things. But first of all, I'm going to have to, well, make sure he doesn't go away in any fashion. So I need him nearby. And I need him where I know where he is. And this is definitely part of the cave that has him, so I'll need to hop up here before. I'm worried about... There we go. Okay. My melon should be fine now. Ooh, that reminds me I'm going to need more food, so... Melons! Melons, help me. I'm fine with the melons. I wonder if melon armor would have any particular ability. That's a good question. I'll have to check. This is funny thinking about special abilities on all sorts of blocks because of block armor. It's a cool mod. It is. And it's one of the reasons why I included it. I thought, okay, if you want to have a fancy armor that has a cool ability, just pick a block and see if it has one. I could put my dirt up for now. There's also some other things that I've gotten into. I did get a random enchantment table from Four-Leaf Clover. Oh, reminds me, I need to use those. These are a gift from a friend. These are a gift from Cool Tetsu. These are not my regular Four-Leaf Clover I ran into randomly. These are special. So like a little bit of a transfer between worlds, and for that matter, between friends. So, yes. I should probably start a deposit in here for crystals. I'll also need to expand this at some point. It's a good thing I have iron chests in my mod pack. I mean, seriously, because that's one of those things that should kind of be in vanilla. It's just expandable chests. This place I've been using as a bank. I found a way to store all these bronze coins. I really need to get started on that mod at some point too. Just seriously, I need to get started on that mod. But yeah, now that I got the crystals cleared out and worked out, it should be fine. Let's see, what's the forecast? It looks like it is dark, with a chance of a slime of some sort, probably plains. So yeah. Oh, need to deposit my andesite. I'm gonna need to use that on something later. It's gonna be really cool if I get that started off. A lot of people are gonna enjoy that mod. It's totally new and totally awesome. It's by the same lady. At least I believe she's a lady who made Voidcraft, which is also really cool and in here. They're both really awesome mods, and I'm liking her modding style. So I'll definitely be showing off her mods eventually. Now, let me see, was there something else down here that I needed to mine? Because I'd like to mine dark ore if I can. Oh yeah, I closed this off because of... I can get those later. They're just some yellow crystals. Let me see here. I can finally get these out of my way, so I won't keep stepping on them. I've had issues recently with these particular things. Now, they are not like cactus. If they damage you, they won't hurt your items, so you could use them as an interesting mob trap. Was there any others that were clearly in my path, though? So that's something I'm concerned about. Okay, all the way to the clearing where I get into the rest of my cave system, I'm good. I have a very extensive cave system down here, by the way. Whenever I went mining in between episodes, I found out that I had just a totally enormous cave system. It's actually kind of impressive. So yeah, that's how, again, I ran into a lot of nice stuff. Okay, whew. Getting a lot of these crystals, that's good. Obviously I can deposit them back here. And then I should be good to go for that. Although, I think I can start off with some other mods and get some of their books, because I still have some books to obtain. And something I haven't shown is also my new kind of bedroom and library. You can see I have several of my books deposited here to make an official library. Now there are some that still don't count. The runic tablet, because it's a tablet not a book, isn't recognized, even though technically it's a guidebook. Also, for some odd reason, I've never found a time where Bibliocraft accepts a Totempedia. Yeah, no idea why. But for now, I could try getting other books. I have been building up some books in between, because I have a nice sugarcane farm now, and leather I've been obtaining mostly from enemies. It happens. So I should probably be able to get my other books if I can. A lot of them anyhow. Oh, that reminds me, I'm definitely gonna... That's my diplomas. I need to make a frame for this one, because I have that pool nearby. So that would be really convenient. Okay, just a log of oak. I know I had some other sticks already, but I might need them for other things, so block of sticks from random things. Well, that's random, because I haven't seen that before. That must be from a new version. Or the new version of the mod, I should say. Okay, that handles that one. This handles this one. Oh, there's also the third book I was really going to try to get this episode. Where did I put them? It's with my minerals. So with my minerals, obsidian. I have a good supply. Again, I beat a lot of mobs for that, but I wouldn't call it a great supply. I'd like to make sure that I still have enough for a nether portal after this. There's something very special I need to make, so please remember this very carefully. Empty obsidian flask from Voidcraft. Remember how I mentioned how I have Voidcraft in here? Well, I need to go super deep for that one. First, let's see if I can handle anything along the surface. Because it's good to be underground mostly between times that you can be on the surface. Because you can just alternate your style to fit what time of day it is, or whether or not there's major mobs around, or something like that. I need to deposit that whenever I get back. Speaking of which. It's I like how I relocated these. I had a few bushes just casually in my area, and I was like, you know, it might be nice to do something about that. Here's the classic startup for Ars Magica 2. A book framed. For some odd reason, my click wasn't working. Near one of these very special pools. Why are you going in such slow motion? Okay. That was the slowest rune set I've seen so far. Okay. It usually doesn't go that slow. I'm not sure. Whoa, I heard that sound. Oh, I've learned about your snipes. I have. Okay. Because you're the one shooting at me. Oh. Got her. Is there any others that close? Whew. Going back to my vanilla Minecraft habits of running on melons. It happened. Kunai. I might want to have some fast shots. I think these are easier to hit with than these. So next time I see a fairy, I might try shooting her down, rather than rushing at her with my sword and retreating very quickly to dance around her Danmaku shots. Oh gosh, the fairies are definitely going to be something a lot of people will both enjoy and be annoyed by. Although in my case, I do think it's just fun. Rushing around that way. Okay, I got those. I got, oh, I need to feed this to a creature. Back up. Oh, that reminds me. For some weird reason, sometimes you'll find, infernals dropping cookies and hose. Not just for their enchanted gear they normally do. I find that kind of amusing. Wait, kind of amusing. I wonder. Because it would be kind of amusing if this sudden idea I've just had works. Okay, experiment time. Do this on a, what you have to do to get the, one of your initial book for Evilcraft is to click with a darkened apple on a, passive mob. I wonder, does it count vampire hunters? Because these guys are actually kind of useless normally. I mean, okay. Before I actually do this, I'm clicking on him. He says nothing. He does nothing. I've actually seen him not actually fight an actual in-world vampire before. Why are they even here? Are they only here to fight you when you become a vampire? Is it that they ignore regular vampires but not you? Are they only here to support you after you become a vampire hunter? Well, right now they don't do very much. So I'm sorry, but if you're not gonna do diddly, and for that matter not squat, I'm going to have to sacrifice you for, well, I wouldn't exactly call it the greater good per se, but I'm not exactly evil either, so a greater purpose. Let's put it that way. You're going to be sacrificed for a greater purpose. Okay, nothing else sees me. Just gonna, well, that one's kind of thinking about it. I'm going to punch you with a darkened apple. Okay, these guys are sort of passive. Will they work? Oh, goodness sakes. They'll work. They will work. Okay. Even more amusing thing. I found out that if it's just not harmful, it might work. Could that really have worked on an actual hostile mob? I've never tried using it on a hostile mob before. Okay, and now I have my Evilcraft guide, Origins of Darkness. Kind of collecting a few very special books that are obtained in different ways than normal very quickly. So is a special thing this episode if I can. Okay, that was unexpected. Oh, I need to deposit some of those too while I'm at it. Yep. By the way, if you're having issues with having too much step assist, hold sneak. So, special tip there. I do have that ability. I find it very useful, but at the same time it can be annoying if you don't know how to operate it. And there's several mods that give it to you in that exact way, where you have the ability to do so, and that you can sneak to stop it. But I have found a few that don't know how to go with that. By the way, you can actually make these bigger entity brains specifically by using 8 of a previous tier and surrounding them around a slime ball, and then it goes up. They only stack to 8 for some reason. I know that's exactly what the crafting recipe uses, but for some odd that just doesn't seem quite right. I mean, seriously, that you can get overstacked with these pretty quickly, and that's why I've been kind of upgrading them from spare slime balls. I'll go over some additional slime ball tricks later that I found in between episodes, and you may or may not have noticed a few interesting things and be wondering what they are. I'll go over that later, too. Although probably not this exact episode. I'll put some of these books back, because I only... Wait, I do need one. Because I'm probably not going to use up all these books now. There's something I might be able to do at a bookshelf later, but I don't know. And no, it's not what you think. I don't have Thaumcraft 6 yet. So no transforming a bookshelf into a Thaumonomicon at this time. Sorry. Yeah, I've definitely noted there's too many things that's happened between episodes for me to explain it all in this one. Because it's getting about time for me to do close out, but at the same time, I think I can do one more big thing, and that'll probably be me making the last book. There's some special things that happen only deep in the world. What I mean by that is literally deep, like close to bedrock. A couple of mods here specifically use the power of the void, and it's not just Voidcraft. It's also Animunda, Black Arts of the Void. Both of these mods, you have to get super deep down to bedrock layer to be able to do progress in them at all. So I'm going into my cave system, and I'm going deep. And I did kind of a theme with going mostly in a straight line downward. Right now, here I am at bedrock layer, as you can see. That reminds me, what's my settings on video settings? Do I have my... I do have them on decreased. I prefer them on decreased most of the time, so they're not overwhelming, but at the same time, you still get the experience of seeing your particles, just saying. Okay, I'm not finding an uneven piece of bedrock that goes deeper right now. That's what I'm kind of going for right now. Aha! There we go. That's what I was after. Because I wanted a piece of bedrock that was down farther, because the deeper you are, the more likely this is that what I'm going to do is going to work. Also, right now where I am, if you dig anything this close to bedrock, you might find a very special item for one of the mods that you only find deep, and it's only from mining deeply. It's not just from well, actually, I'm not sure if you can just keep remining stone over and over, or you know, just do cobblestone. That's an interesting question, and for some odd reason I haven't found another one to demonstrate, because normally this is pretty apparent. Well, maybe another time. Because I'm also kind of looking for diamond, because I have a few diamond things randomly from Infernals, but I don't have actual diamond. Since I'm going up again and I just ran into redstone, I think this is a good place to stop and do the next little thing. Probably gonna need more of this over time anyhow, so time to absorb power from the void. In this case, I will use these empty obsidian flasks that I crafted earlier, and click, when you're close to the void. And now I have filled ones. And what this does is special. You throw it out somewhere in the world, and you create a special void fire. I don't know if that's going to be useful for a lot of things, but I know it's going to be useful for at least some things. I know it's definitely going to be useful in obtaining the next book, but I don't have to do it close to the bottom of the world, so I can go up higher. But where would be the best spot? Well, this nook is actually kind of nice. There, I position myself carefully. Okay. And this is also similar to what I did before with making a spirit portal using that darkened apple and then tossing a book in to get another book. Well, in this case, it's create a void fire and toss a book. Wow, that had momentum. The Void Body Meekin. Darn lips. Also, not necessarily the easiest name to say. Void Vade Meekum. Is it Void Vade Meekum? I think it's Void Vade. That sounds kind of cooler in a way. Void Vade Meekum. What an interesting name for a magic book. Okay, and each of these has a stockpile of magical knowledge that I'll be going with over time. But first, I'd like to see if they actually count as books. Because that's kind of a running thing that I have with Bibliocraft, is see, does it automatically count as a book? I might try whitelisting that other book, because there's a way that you can do it where you can tell it that a book is supposed to be a book. Now, traditionally, this one counts, so yeah, that works. No. And I've had issues with Origins of Darkness before going into Bibliocraft stuff. Does this one count? No. Huh. I have at least 3 guidebooks, no, at least 4 guides, if you count the Runic Tablet, that don't count. That's interesting. Okay. Just to illustrate my point, and taking this out of the way and moving a few things so you can visually see here. These, let me cluster them a little. These 4 books apparently do not count towards Bibliocraft. They will not go into a bookshelf. That's something I'm very gracious that they brought back into modded Minecraft, though, is keeping up with it, because I like Bibliocraft's bookshelves. That's something, again, I think would be cool in vanilla, because, in fact, they actually once planned it. The idea of having a bookshelf that actually stored and visually showed books, I think that's just so cool. So here I have one completely set up for it, and there we go. I mean, it's actually looking nice, and I do have some enchanted books I've obtained randomly. Mostly through that book bag thing. I've got Sharpness, Looting, Efficiency, and Unusing all at level 1. Unusing is a very special enchantment that's found from Evilcraft. It has a very interesting property. Anything with durability that's enchanted with Unusing, if it gets down to its last point, will stop working, but on the other hand will not use up any further durability. So you simply stop yourself from accidentally breaking it. And that's kind of a matter of convenience type enchantment that I just find cool. And in case you're seeing another little change here, yes, that is a specialized furnace from Mystical Agriculture. It's a little more efficient than a regular furnace. It's, I guess I can show off the crafting recipe before I head off. Okay, yeah, almost forgot about that integration. Inferium Furnace, efficiency plus 15%. And I've been mining and getting Inferium Essence from Mystical Agriculture from enemies. And it takes a block and 3 Inferium Essence and a Furnace. Although that's ridiculous in my opinion of using more than a single crafting table worth in any one crafting recipe, in terms of general modded Minecraft and even sometimes in vanilla, that's not bad at all. So that's actually kind of easy to deal with. So this is actually very cheap because overall, in a way, because you will get a lot of this stuff very quickly. So I had more than plenty. I can see my armor is already back up. It's only at level 2, but I think I'll have to recheck that later. Oh well. Well, before I head off, at least I should do something like picking a class or something, I guess. That would be nice as like a final thing. And I know I keep saying that, but still. Okay, I think I've got this set to... here we go. They haven't changed their classes and their balance. It has been just completely ported. Just a quick look over for levels. Level up, not levels. Not level. It's not the levels mod. It's level up. This is where your experience actually gives you skill points you can actually do things with, which again was a feature they were originally planning for vanilla Minecraft, just being able to do something like this where your levels actually give you the ability to get boosts over time. Well, anyhow, I'll just kind of quickly point over these because I've kind of shown these off before. So if you'd like to know what a particular class does, you can pause it for a moment, and I'm giving at least a few seconds each time to just go over the different skills, because I've already chosen which one I'm going to use. But for those who's also wondering about other possibilities, I'm going to show off each of these real quickly in terms of their stats. So feel free to pause at any moment if you're curious. This one's actually special because it's just 20 points flat. But no extra XP from anything. When I say extra XP, they mean you actually gain like regular experience from doing certain things, which is nice. And of course the one I'll always choose, Fisherman. Plus 10 fishing, plus 5 cooking, plus 5 wood cutting, extra XP from crafting. And this is what I do in fact choose. Because in addition to that, there's another portion of it that I like. And of course after you do your selection, you always get your extra points up screen. I like maxing out fishing as soon as possible, as well as digging, because both of them can give you extra items. Like this says plus chance to fish up loot. That's actually special, and I might show that off sometime. Because it's not entirely what you think. It has a bonus list of again lips. As a bonus list of things you can obtain that's very special to the mod. It's just vanilla stuff, but it's cool extras. And you get that in addition to your I guess you can say is your final fishing reward, because you can actually get it and your bobber's still in, and you can pull it up multiple times before you finish up that particular fishing instance. It's one of those things that I'd have to explain by actually showing it sometime. I've actually used this off screen a lot, but I think I actually want to show this off at least once as to how this works. Especially when, because of all that string, I actually have a fishing pole. It's something I always try going for whenever I get enough string, so yeah. Oh, by the way, let me see here. What else do I usually go for? Digging, that's a big one. Because in this case, it starts up with the plus primary chance being digging up loot. I have a good amount of points. I think I have enough to maximize both of these in one shot. So I actually got a pretty good number of levels. The extreme amount of combat from my mod pack may actually make this mod one of the big winners. Yeah, I'm perfectly out of points now. Just perfectly. By the way, good guess, Vasky. Good guess. For those of you in the know, you also know exactly what I'm talking about. Good guess, Vasky. Good guess. So, with that, I think I can go off soon. Just wondering, is it night or day? I'm not sure because I have no overhanging tree, and I think I hear rain. Yeah, I hear rain, and it's dark, so I can't tell if it's night or just really dark due to rain and overhead tree. I might fix that eventually. But for now, we'll see. And I've got an interesting idea for a replacement block in my spawn base that I'll go over later. It's kind of surprising how that mod works out, but it gives you one that's really high to be almost blast-proof, and I'm going to probably use it. I just need time to get a lot of the proper item. It's not that hard, just kind of time-consuming. So I'll have to show off that process later as well. But for now, I think it's time for me to prepare to sign off for a while. I'll be going over a lot of the recent things that I've done and stuff that I've added and things like that later. But for now, I'll have to head off here. So this is Glitch Reaper. I'll be logging off. Hope to hear from you all soon. So bye for now.